What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of More Seasoning. I'm your host, Farnham. My wife is sick. Yes, she gets sick like quarterly. We all know this at this point. But today I am making her a chicken pot pie soup. This thing is gonna warm the soul and knock the flu right out of her ass. That's a fact. This thing is gonna be amazing. We got some little bread bites to go along with it. Without any further ado, let's jump into the ingredients in 3, 2, 1. You're gonna need chicken breast, unsalted chicken stock, heavy cream, celery, carrot, and a yellow onion, garlic, unsalted butter, and some Parmigiano Reggiano. Try to get Reggiano if you can afford it. For our dried herbs, we've got oregano, rosemary, thyme, and bay leaf. For the ground spices, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, cayenne, some all-purpose flour, frozen peas and corn, optional white wine, some parsley. And if you wanna make the bread bites, you'll need puff pastries and an egg. All right, before we jump into the prep work, I just have to say, be careful what you wish for. I always wanted a ton of natural light in my kitchen, and now it's so damn bright over here that I have to run away from it. So we're gonna film over here today, and the first thing that we're gonna do is chop up 1 cup of onion. You're gonna take the top and shell off your onion, then we're gonna hit it with some vertical cuts. The show goes on, baby. Some opposing cuts and then a cross chop. Sorry, I had to throw a Band-Aid on. I bled through the paper towel. Now we got about a cup of onions. Now we're just gonna scoop it up into the bowl. We're gonna take the top off our carrot, cut it in half carefully. Then we're just gonna cut these into semicircles. Then we scoop it up into the bowl. Keep in mind, it's 1 cup of each. Next, we have some celery. We're gonna take the top and the bottoms off. Then we're gonna cut them in half lengthwise. Then we're just gonna chop these up, scoop them up into the bowl. We got 5 cloves of finger stink. All we're gonna do is chop the butt off, peel the shell off, do a couple slices, some opposing cuts, chop it, scoop it up into a bowl. All right, now we're gonna do our chicken seasoning. It's gonna be a ½ teaspoon of each of these. Garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, cayenne, smoked paprika, salt, and pepper. All right, now for our vegetable seasonings, this is also gonna be a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, thyme, rosemary, smoked paprika, salt, and pepper. Next, I want you to grab your block of Parmesan. If you were able to get Reggiano, we're gonna take the rind off this and pop that in the soup. Maybe about a ½ inch in. You're just gonna slice that off right there, just like that. Set that to the side. And if any parm comes off, all right, next we got our chicken breast. This is gonna be fairly simple. Go ahead and dump your breasts out. I've got about 1.5 pounds right now. We're gonna take some paper towels and we're just gonna pat these guys dry. So separate them out. You know what's so funny is these look like thighs. They're just tiny breasts, A cups. Now we got the oil of olives. We're just gonna go ahead and drizzle this right on. You don't have to go crazy. Now, because we separated our seasoning, we can touch our chicken, no worries. Make sure you get that oil off the board. Rub them down, baby, rub them down. Wham. Bam, slam, thank you, ma'am. Now, we're gonna take our seasonings and then we're just going to liberally sprinkle this on. Make sure you rub those chicken breasts around, pick up any of that seasoning on the board. Let's flip them over. Now we're gonna hit the backside. Just pat that seasoning down and then one more flip onto the pretty side of the breast. And we're just gonna make sure we cover any empty spots that we may have. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the prep work. It is now time to cook our soup. All right, so the great thing about doing your prep work beforehand is everything that we need for the soup is ready to go. We're literally just pumping and dumping at this point. Very easy. We're gonna start by searing our chicken. So I'm going into a heavy bottom Dutch oven. You can use a pot, even a pot that you cook pasta in, whatever will fit soup you can use. Medium heat, and the reason why we're using medium heat is because we don't wanna scorch the spices on here. We can get some good color on the outside of this chicken without killing it. We're gonna make sure that olive oil covers the whole bottom, and then we're going in. A nice light sear. All right, so now that that chicken's in there, we're gonna cook this for about 6 to 7 minutes, okay? We're gonna let it cook on that first side for about 2.5 minutes. Then we're gonna flip every 90 seconds in order to get some nice color on both sides. We're about 2 minutes in, and as you can see, beautiful, beautiful color on that first side. And now we're gonna flip back and forth every 90 seconds. As you can see, they look beautifully brown. We're gonna pull them out. Okay, look how stunning the color is on this chicken. Now it's not fully cooked. We're gonna cook it in the soup. We just needed color on the chicken and flavor in the bottom of the pot. Nothing is scorched. We have a ton of fond in the bottom of this pot, which is gonna give us loads of flavor. Now we're going in with 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I got it on a nice medium heat, butter's melted. We're going in with our carrot, celery, and onion. Super important, we need to salt these veggies. I'm going in with several pinches of salt. We have a lot of vegetables in here. That's 1, 2, 3 heavy pinches, and now we're gonna mix. All right, we're gonna let these veggies saute while we continue to mix until the carrots turn soft. Should be about 7 or 8 minutes. All right, we're about 8 minutes in, carrots are softening up. Now we're going in with our finger stink and our spice mix. Let's get a good mix on this. And this is where it's gonna go from, wow, that smells good, to holy shit, what am I cooking right now? These spices and this garlic are gonna bring it to the next level. I'm telling you. You should smell it right now. You're gonna let that go for about 60 seconds, then we're bringing in the flour power, okay? You'll burn your garlic if you go any longer than that. So let's toss in our flour now. We got a 1/4 cup right here. Gonna make kind of a roux situation with the residual butter that we have. So go ahead and mix this thoroughly. All right, now we're just gonna cook that raw flour down and mix for the next 45 seconds. Once you see it starting to brown up like this, then we're going in 1/2 cup white wine. If you don't like white wine or you don't do alcohol, you're gonna go straight in with your chicken stock. But for me, we're going white wine. So it looks like baby food. Now that it's a little bit browned, we're gonna go in with 4 cups of our chicken stock. And now we're gonna mix. Now that that flour is nice and broken up, I bumped the heat up to high. We're just gonna bring that to a boil. All right, we're up to a boil. Now we're gonna take our chicken breasts. We're gonna pop those into that simmering soup. Make sure you get all those juices in there as well. That's the good shit. All right, we're gonna let that chicken cook for like 10 minutes while it simmers. I'm also going in with that Parmesan rind and our 2 bay leaves. We're gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes uncovered while we do our pastries. Puff pastry, I use like 3/4 of it. All right, very easy. How are we gonna make little circles for bread bites? Well, I'm using the cap of my olive oil bottle. I'm just gonna flatten this out and then I'm going in. So we got all these little circles now. And then if you just peel away the middle, they should just pop right out. If you want more bread bites, you can take the leftover dough, roll it out, do more. I'm putting it back in the freezer. I don't need more than this. Next, bowl, egg, crack it, pop it out, now beat it. All right, we're gonna get all this done while our chicken is finishing cooking. You're gonna take a little paintbrush or your fingers. We're just going to hold each little one, dab our egg on there, just like so. Make sure it's just covered on top. Now we're just gonna season them. I'm going over with some salt, fresh pepper, and then just a little bit of dried rosemary. 400-degree oven, about 5 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Let's pull the chicken out. Now you can cube these or shred it. Cubing's just way easier to me. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, our biscuit bites are done. I'll show you right here. Yeah, how good does that look? Honestly, how damn easy was that? Now we got our cubed up chicken. We're gonna go back into our pot with that. How damn good does that look? Right now we're at a super low simmer. I literally have it on the lowest setting. And we're gonna add in a couple things right now. First and foremost, we got our frozen peas and corn. So here we go. I'm just gonna eyeball it. That looks about 1/2 to 3/4 a cup. I'm gonna do the same with the corn. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna mix. All right, and because those are frozen, it's gonna cool that soup down pretty significantly, which is the perfect opportunity to put in about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup heavy whipping cream. Here we go. All right, 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup. There you go. And now we mix. Oh, look at that. Disrespectful is what that is. Oh. At this point, we're gonna bring it back up to a slight simmer. Go slow, leave it on a low heat, let it slowly warm back up, and we're gonna let it reduce probably 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, we got a ton of Parmesan cheese that we can shred. I love putting a ton of Parm in here. I'll honestly use most of this block. If you don't wanna do that, you don't have to. Just know you're gonna have to put a significant amount of salt in there in order to bring that salt level up at the end. So for the next, 8 or 9 minutes while that simmers and reduces, I'm gonna shred some Parm. Did you think I was gonna make you watch me shred Parm for 7 minutes? No, cut the camera. Look at that. I want you to reward yourself because at this point you are basically done. You just gotta wait for that to simmer and reduce. All right, check me out like a cashier, the Parmesan Don. I told you, I did like 90% of that Parm block. It's going straight into that soup. Make sure your soup isn't too hot. We don't want anything to curdle. As you can see, very, very slight simmer. I'm gonna go even lower than that, and then I'm just going to scrape all of this Parmesan in. We'll start there. I'm actually cutting the heat completely while I mix this in. I'm going in with the rest of that Parm now. It smells and looks insane. Right off rip, this smells insane. It looks delicious. I can almost guarantee we're gonna have to put a significant amount of salt in here. We had a lot of stock, a lot of cream. We did put a lot of cheese, but we're gonna taste first, then salt. I saw somebody post, what's one of the most feminine things a guy can do? And one of them was blow on hot soup. Listen, yes, it needs salt, not a ton. I'm gonna start with a couple pinches and then try again. Maybe 1/2 teaspoon. Here we go. Salt level is perfect. Let's go ahead and plate. All right, guys, so I cut my pinky tip off. I lost the light. It is a pain in the ass filming this by myself, but what we have right now is going to be an elite bite of chicken pot pie soup. Without any further ado, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, take that little saucy bite. Oh my gosh, you little nuggety bitch. The biscuit, I would fight over a biscuit bite. This is disrespectful. Hold on, one more. A nice steamy, meaty bite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motherfucking stars on the star scale for sure. If you saved any of that parm, just right on top. Oh, it's me driving a car off a cliff. This tastes so damn good. That right there, that's the bite that you take when you see your high school bully and you're just like, you know what, dude? I forgive you because I'm living a great life. And then you just take this bite. If you made it this far, love you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button, drop a comment below. It's gonna help this video in the algorithm because everybody knows YouTube hates long form right now, but we're gonna stay consistent for you guys as always. This is chicken pot pie soup. I am Farnham. I'm gonna go sit down in a hole somewhere and just bury my face in this. Love you guys, and we're out. Can you shave some parm in this for me?
Shave some parm?